What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Your friendly neighborhood film fanatic here, ready to swing into action and uncover some of the most spectacular secrets hidden within the stunning visuals of the Sony Spider-Verse movies. We're talking Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, two films that aren't just masterpieces of animation, but also absolute treasure troves of Easter eggs, references, and blink and you'll miss it details. Seriously, these movies are like a Where's Waldo for comic book fans, except Waldo is a random Spider-Man variant, and he's probably doing something ridiculously cool while also dealing with crippling anxiety. The animators for these films didn't just hide things, they embedded them into the very DNA of the multiverse. It's like they designed these movies to be watched 50 times just to catch everything. And guess what? I've watched them 51 times for science. So grab your web shooters, buckle up, and let's dive into 7 hidden Easter eggs you might have missed. I've focused on the deep cuts here, the ones that prove the filmmakers are truly one of us, kicking things off with the ultimate origin homage. We all know Spider-Man's journey starts with Amazing Fantasy issue number 15, right? It's the comic that introduced the world to Peter Parker and the whole great power, great responsibility shtick. Well, in Into the Spider-Verse, the film manages to honor this without just putting the comic book on screen. In the early scenes, as Miles walks through his bustling, colorful Brooklyn neighborhood, keep your eyes peeled for billboards and street signs. There is one particularly sneaky moment where you can see a large billboard with the text Amazing Fantasy and the number 15 strategically placed near it. It's not a comic book shop sign, it's just part of the everyday clutter of the city. It's so subtle, it just blends into the background noise, which is exactly what a true Easter egg should do. It's basically the cinematic equivalent of a polite nod and a wink to the people who've been reading these stories since the 60s. A brilliant low-key way to say, we remember where we came from. Next up, we have an Easter egg that shatters the dimensional barrier, confirming a massive connection between the animated Spider-Verse and the live-action Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're talking about Donald Glover and his role in the Spider-Man legacy. First, let's go back to Spider-Man: Homecoming in 2017. Glover played a small-time criminal named Aaron Davis. When he's talking to Peter Parker, he mentions that he doesn't want dangerous weapons on the street because he has a nephew who lives here. That nephew, of course, is Miles Morales, setting the stage for Miles' eventual arrival in the MCU. Now, fast forward to Across the Spider-Verse. When Miles is running through the Spider Society's prison for anomalies, he passes a containment chamber, and what does he see? A live-action, fully suited-up Prowler who looks exactly like Donald Glover. That's right, the Across the Spider-Verse team took the live-action MCU version of Aaron Davis and confirmed that he eventually became the Prowler in his universe, but got trapped by the Spider Society. This cameo is amazing because it's the payoff for a setup from 6 years earlier, and it's a huge wink to the fans who first championed the idea of Glover playing a Spider-Man variant, which ultimately inspired the creation of Miles Morales in the comics. It's the multiverse coming full circle. Next, let's talk about the original Prowler, Miles' Uncle Aaron, who is one of the most compelling and tragic figures in the first movie. The film takes great pains to show us the two sides of his life, the cool uncle and the terrifying villain. In Into the Spider-Verse, when Miles first sneaks into Aaron's apartment, look closely at the details of the room. He's got cool furniture, a DJ setup, and a very specific collection of comic books on a shelf. Those aren't just random comics, they are issues directly featuring the Prowler from the classic Marvel run. Specifically, the comics are from the Amazing Spider-Man series, where the character first appeared, starting in issue number 78 in 1969. It's an amazing, subtle nod. Aaron Davis isn't just playing the Prowler, he's a fan of the original Prowler, even if it's an alternate universe version. It raises some existential questions. Is he cosplaying as a comic book character in his own life, or is he inspired by a predecessor who existed in a different dimension? It's a layer of depth that reminds us Aaron is just a complicated nerd with a tragic criminal hobby. It's the kind of Easter egg that requires you to be both an astute film watcher and a 60-year-old comic book collector. In the climactic fight scene of Into the Spider-Verse, when all the Spider people are converging on the Collider, the king around him is a one-eyed golden retriever. This is none other than Lucky the Pizza Dog, the beloved companion of Kate Bishop, aka the other Hawkeye. Pizza Dog is a key character in the acclaimed Hawkeye comic run by Matt Fraction and David Aja, which has been massively influential in modern comics. Why is he there? Who knows? Maybe he was just having a casual slice in an alternate timeline. The important thing is that a dog who loves pizza made it into a movie about spiders. It's the crossover we never asked for, but absolutely deserve. I assume he got a good spot on the car roof since, you know, good boy. The legendary Stan Lee is honored throughout these movies, most obviously with his emotional cameo in the first film, but there's a much quieter, more permanent tribute that spans both movies. In Into the Spider-Verse, look out for the graffiti on the walls and street corners of Miles' neighborhood. Hidden in a few different locations is the tag Excelsior, Stan Lee's famous catchphrase. But the deeper cut comes in across the Spider-Verse. When Miles is running through the city, there's a highly detailed piece of street art, a classic piece of comic-style graffiti. If you look closely at the artist's signature, or the tag beneath the main art, you can often spot the year 1922, which is Stan Lee's birth year. The filmmakers used the street art of Miles' world to literally write Stan Lee into the fabric of the city itself, making him an enduring background part of this Spider-Man's life, just as he is for all of us. It's a beautifully subtle, tear-jerking detail, and every time I see it, I just hear him saying, "Face front, true believer," dropping the controller at a crucial moment. Finally, let's wrap up with an Easter egg that's less about a specific character and more about the fundamental language of comics itself, and it's hidden in the background noise of Into the Spider-Verse. We all know the movies use on-screen sound effects like BAM and THWIP to mimic comic panels, but pay super close attention to the smaller, non-essential bits of dialogue, the crowd noise, or people shouting in the distance. Often the filmmakers use actual, tiny, hand-drawn speech bubbles floating above characters' heads to convey background conversation, especially in the more chaotic scenes. These are sometimes even the distinct font style of classic comics. They're usually blurred or too small to read clearly, but their presence reinforces the movie's core visual theme, that every frame is a living, breathing comic panel. It's a detail so subtle, it's really only there to please the animators themselves, and maybe people like us who spend too much time pausing movies. It's the ultimate meta reference. And there you have it, 7 secrets proving that the Sony Spider-Verse movies are not just fantastic, but also one of the most detail-oriented comic book movie series of all time. Seriously, every frame is an art gallery dedicated to the full, glorious history of this character. Did I miss your favorite? I know I missed at least 30 more, but tell me the one you spotted on your 100th rewatch. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next time we swing through the multiverse. Thanks for watching, and as always, love y'all.